Climate change refers to a long-term shift in global weather patterns due to the increase in the Earth's temperature. This shift is caused by the buildup of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, primarily carbon dioxide, which traps heat and warms the planet. Climate change has significant environmental, economic, and social impacts and is one of the most significant global challenges we face today. We will discuss the causes and effects of climate change and explore possible solutions to mitigate its impact. The history of climate change is long and complex, with natural factors and human activities contributing to changes in the Earth's climate over millions of years. In this article, we will provide an overview of the history of climate change, from the early days of the Earth's formation to the present day. Climate change refers to the long-term alteration of global weather patterns, particularly changes in temperature, precipitation, and sea level rise. Caused by human activities such as burning of fossil fuels, deforestation, and agricultural practices, climate change poses a significant threat to the planet, as it impacts ecosystems, economies, and human health. Causes of climate change. The primary cause of climate change is the increased concentration of greenhouse gases in the Earth's atmosphere. Greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide, trap heat in the atmosphere, causing the planet to warm. The primary source of greenhouse gases is the burning of fossil fuels, such as coal, oil, and gas, for energy production. These fuels release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, which accumulates over time and contributes to global warming. Another significant contributor to climate change is deforestation. Trees absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere during photosynthesis, reducing the concentration of greenhouse gases. Deforestation, however, reduces the number of trees available to absorb carbon dioxide, increasing the concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. Here are some of the key factors that contribute to climate change. 1. Human activities. The burning of fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and gas for energy releases large amounts of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Deforestation, industrial processes, and transportation also contribute to greenhouse gas emissions. 2. Natural factors. Natural processes such as volcanic eruptions, changes in solar radiation, and variations in Earth's orbit and tilt can affect the climate. But these factors alone cannot explain the current warming trend. 3. Agriculture and livestock. Agriculture, particularly livestock farming, is a significant source of methane and nitrous oxide, two potent greenhouse gases that contribute to climate change. 4. Land use changes. Deforestation and other land use changes also contribute to climate change by reducing the amount of carbon that can be absorbed by forests and soils. 5. Industrial processes. The production of cement, steel, and other materials emits carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases. 6. Waste management. Landfills and waste management practices release methane, a potent greenhouse gas, into the atmosphere. It's important to note that while natural factors can contribute to climate change, the overwhelming evidence indicates that human activities are the primary cause of the current warming trend. Early Earth. The early Earth had a very different climate than the one we experience today. The Earth was formed around 4.5 billion years ago and was initially a hot, molten ball of rock. As the Earth cooled, an atmosphere was formed, consisting primarily of carbon dioxide and water vapor. This atmosphere was unable to support life as we know it today, but it did provide a protective layer that prevented the Earth from being bombarded by harmful radiation from the sun. Over time, the Earth's climate began to change as a result of natural factors, such as changes in the Earth's orbit, changes in the sun's radiation, and volcanic activity. These factors caused fluctuations in the Earth's temperature, resulting in periods of glaciation and warming. Ice ages. The Earth has experienced several periods of glaciation, also known as ice ages, throughout its history. During these periods, much of the Earth's surface was covered in ice, and sea levels were much lower than they are today. The most recent ice age occurred approximately 2.6 million years ago and lasted until around 11,000 years ago. The cause of these ice ages is still not fully understood, but it is believed to be related to changes in the Earth's orbit, which affects the amount of sunlight that the Earth receives. It is also thought that volcanic activity and changes in ocean currents may have played a role in triggering these periods of glaciation. Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution, which began in the 18th century, marked a significant turning point in the history of climate change. The burning of fossil fuels, such as coal and oil, for energy production released large amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, contributing to the buildup of greenhouse gases and global warming. The impact of human activity on the Earth's climate became more evident in the 20th century, as temperatures began to rise at an unprecedented rate. In 1988, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change was established to provide a scientific assessment of the impact of human activity on the Earth's climate. Modern times. Since the establishment of the IPCC, there has been a growing awareness of the impact of climate change on the environment, the economy, and society. The Earth's temperature has continued to rise, resulting in rising sea levels, melting glaciers, and more frequent and severe weather events. In 2015, the Paris Agreement was signed by 196 countries, with the aim of limiting global warming to below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. The agreement set out a plan for reducing greenhouse gas emissions and increasing the use of renewable energy sources. Effects of climate change. Climate change has significant impacts on the environment, the economy, and society. The following are some of the most significant effects of climate change. Rising temperatures. Global temperatures have already risen by about 1 degree Celsius since pre-industrial times, and they are projected to continue to rise, causing heat waves, droughts, and other extreme weather events. Sea level rise. As temperatures rise, glaciers and ice caps melt, causing sea levels to rise. This can result in flooding, coastal erosion, and saltwater intrusion into freshwater sources. Changes in precipitation patterns. Climate change is expected to cause changes in precipitation patterns, leading to more frequent and severe droughts, floods, and wildfires. Impacts on ecosystems. Climate change is already affecting ecosystems and the biodiversity they support. Changes in temperature and precipitation can alter the timing of seasonal events, such as the timing of plant blooming, and cause species to migrate or adapt to new conditions. Impacts on human health. Climate change can have direct and indirect impacts on human health, including increased frequency and intensity of heat waves, air pollution, and the spread of vector-borne diseases. Economic impacts. Climate change can have significant economic impacts, such as loss of productivity due to extreme weather events, damage to infrastructure, and impacts on tourism and agriculture. Solutions to climate change. Mitigating the impact of climate change requires a concerted effort by governments, businesses, and individuals. The following are some possible solutions to mitigate the impact of climate change. Shift to renewable energy. Moving away from fossil fuels and transitioning to renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, and geothermal power can significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Energy efficiency. Improving energy efficiency in buildings, transportation, and industry can reduce energy demand and greenhouse gas emissions. Sustainable land use. Protecting forests and other ecosystems and promoting sustainable agriculture and land use practices can help reduce greenhouse gas emissions and enhance carbon sequestration. Carbon pricing. Implementing policies that put a price on carbon emissions, such as carbon taxes or cap-and-trade systems, can incentivize businesses and individuals to reduce their carbon footprint. Research and development. Investing in research and development of new technologies and innovations, such as carbon capture and storage, can help accelerate the transition to a low-carbon economy. Climate education and awareness. Raising public awareness about climate change and the actions individuals can take to reduce their carbon footprint can help drive broader action and support for climate policies. It's also important to note that adaptation measures, such as building sea walls and improving infrastructure to withstand extreme weather events, are essential to help communities and ecosystems adapt to the impacts of climate change that are already happening. Overall, climate change is one of the most significant global challenges we face today. It has significant impacts on the environment, the economy, and society. Mitigating the impact of climate change requires a concerted effort by governments, businesses, and individuals. The transition to renewable energy sources, improving energy efficiency, afforestation, carbon capture and storage, and sustainable agriculture. Although, the history of climate change is complex and multifaceted, with natural factors and human activities contributing to changes in the Earth's climate over millions of years. The impact of human activity on the Earth's climate has become more evident in modern times, with rising temperatures, melting glaciers, and more frequent and severe weather events. Mitigating the impact of climate change requires a concerted effort by governments, businesses, and individuals to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and transition to renewable energy sources.